It's Headlight Battle Part 2.
Buckle up, Buttercup!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You heard me right. This is Headlight Battle Part 2. If you missed my first video, I'll go ahead and link that one. You're not going to want to miss it. That video is between AlphaRex, the Bronco signature lighting, the Oracle Oculus, and the Morimoto headlights. But you know what? Since then, there is now a new headlight to the game, and that is Form Lighting. So in today's video, I'm putting that head-to-head against AlphaRex because I feel like AlphaRex was the winner in the original headlight battle. But how is Form Lighting going to stand up to the champion? You'll just have to wait and see. Before I go into details about both of these headlights, these are both available on my website at buckleupoffroad.com. We have the Form Lighting and the AlphaRex headlights. I have done in-depth videos about AlphaRex, installation videos on headlights. You can find all of those videos. I'll link them all over the place. So if you're trying to install a headlight, I have an instruction video about that. And if you want a really in-depth video about AlphaRex, I also have that. But just to recap, if you're new here, AlphaRex headlights have been out for a couple of years now. They have an opening sequence, they have sequential turn signal, and you have the option of either doing a full white DRL, an amber DRL, or you could do just like this halo part be white, the turn signal be amber, and vice versa. There's technically 4 ways to configure the AlphaRex headlights, and then there are 4 projecting headlights as well. There's also 2 different kinds, and that is an Alpha Black, which is the entire casing is black, even around like the projector headlights. And then there's black. I don't know why they did Alpha Black and black. The black has a little bit of a chrome casing around the projection headlights. But that's just kind of a recap about the AlphaRex. Let's talk about the Form Lighting. This was announced and released, I believe at SEMA of last year, 2023. I visited the Form Lighting booth. I got the whole DL on these headlights. And the best part is, I think you're gonna like the price tag on these. These headlights come in substantially more affordable than the AlphaRex headlights, and just looking at them, they look pretty similar too. Are there other features that are different from each other? We're gonna have to find out. One of the features that is different from the AlphaRex is the way this headlight is, I don't want to say installed because they're going to install the same way, but with the AlphaRex, you had to choose the lighting configuration on the back of the headlight. Don't mind me, this thing is very dirty because this is on my Bronco. But essentially, you take the back of this off, you decide, what configuration you want to go to. Now, with the Form Lighting, you don't have to take apart the headlight, which is a bonus in my book. I would say the only downside is you don't have 4 configurations to choose from. You can't do like just this halo part amber and the turn signal white. Like it's either all the halo is amber or it is all white. However, if you are one that likes to change it up, this is easy to do because you don't have to uninstall the headlight. You have this handy dandy wiring harness. As this light sits as is and you plug it in, it's going to have the amber DRLs. If you're not wanting the amber DRLs, you just have to plug this little piggyback harness in, this little switch, or I don't know what you want to call it. This is accessible from the top of the hood, which means you can change between white DRL and amber DRL with just a little click. Very, very simple. So if you like change and you like to change it often, Form Lighting is the clear winner because if you wanted to do something like that with the AlphaRex, you're uninstalling the grill, you're taking the headlights out, you're taking the back of the headlight apart. The other major feature difference is this little puppy right here. This is for if you have halogen base lighting. So if you bought your Bronco and you don't have the signature lighting, which essentially looks like this, the base lighting does not have this setup. It's like an amber DRL. It looks similar, but it's not the same thing. If you have those type of headlights, you're going to need to wire this to the headlight fuse to be able to have the DRLs function as they do with the signature lighting. Otherwise, this whole halo part is only going to turn on when the headlights are on. So if you have it on auto, say during the day, and your headlights are not on, your running lights are not going to be on unless you use this wiring harness right here. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. You want to know how bright they are, how do they compare, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you tonight. It's not often I do videos at night, so it's a little different being set up in the garage, you know, and it's nighttime. I have one AlphaRex installed and one Form Lighting headlight installed, so you can see them right next to each other. The opening sequences, you can see the output as, you know, from the driver's view, and then I'll also a head-on view of the headlights. One thing I noticed right off the bat is they do have different opening sequences. The AlphaRex kind of does a chase opening sequence where the Form Lighting does almost like a similar chase kind of sequence, but it gets brighter on each cycle. So it's kind of dim, gets a little brighter, and then really bright on the third one and then stays on. Speaking of the opening sequences, these sequences are triggered differently than each other. So I'm very used to the AlphaRex. If I lock, unlock, you know, the sequence starts just like the Form Lighting. But one thing I noticed is, say your Bronco's off, it's unlocked, and you just open the door to get something out. Usually for the AlphaRex, the lighting sequence starts up, the Form Lighting does not. So the headlight is just going to stay off completely. These are very minute differences that really only someone probably like me is going to notice that, because I'm doing this comparison video. I'm looking for every single difference. Is that a selling point for AlphaRex and not for Form Lighting? I don't think so. I think it's just preference. And when it comes to saving the money, I think that's really going to make the difference between these two, and of course the output of lighting. What I really like about both of these headlights are there are 4 projector type headlights. They look very similar. I mean, if you look up close to these, they look very similar. The AlphaRex is more of like a smoked lens on top of this one. I mean, you can see the color difference just around like the halo and everything. And, you know, in the halo part itself, when they're lit up, they do look different. The Form Lighting, I would describe it as more of like a pixelated type halo, where the AlphaRex is more of like a hazy style illumination. Hands down, I noticed very quickly that the Form Lighting is very, very bright when it comes to the driving light, which is a win. However, there is a big major difference between these. Even though they both have the 4 projecting headlights, they work a little differently. AlphaRex has a bi-xenon light here on the bottom. So they're all 4 gonna light up in normal headlight mode, but once you turn your high beams on, you know, they're a little bit brighter, obviously. However, the Form Lighting does not have that feature. When you have your regular headlights on, it's just going to power the top 2 projecting headlights, and the bottom ones only turn on when your high beams are on. If that's not information overload, I think it's time to go put these things to the test and see real life comparison of the two. Do they emit the same amount of light? Is one brighter than the other? We're going to find out. Now, I don't have any of these fancy machines to measure lumens, and in fact, these manufacturers may have that information on their website. I'm not sure, but I'm not really caring about that. I am going to go as a Bronco driver, and I'm going to tell you if one's brighter than the other or if they're completely the same. So let's get in the Bronco and go for a drive. Before I go anywhere, here are the headlights up against my garage door. The right side is the Form Lighting and the left side is the AlphaRex. Now you can adjust both of these. You know, if your Bronco's lifted really high, you may need to adjust the headlights and stuff. I have never adjusted the AlphaRex and I have never adjusted the Form Lighting. This is how they are right out of the box. And then here it is with my brights. But now let's go on the road and see how it is. We're gonna keep it with just the headlights on, no bright lights or anything. Just go for a little drive. The right side is the Form Lighting and the left side is AlphaRex. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the bright lights. Here we are at a wood line. I feel like this is a pretty good spot to show you the projection of each of these headlights. This is with no bright lights on. This is with the bright lights on. I'm sending Jim out there to stand in front so you can see what it looks like with a human being up in front. Yeah, so you can see there's a real hard line, but when I turn the brights on, I'm gonna blind him. Oh my goodness, he's right there. Poor Jimmy, he's giving me a thumbs up. But let's take the camera and see what it looks like from Jim's point of view. I'm standing pretty far back here. I'm gonna try to do a couple different angles. Here it is with just the headlights on, and now he's gonna flip on the brights. Go ahead and flip on the brights. Whew. Brights are off, and this is when you really notice the difference in the 4 projection light bulbs here on this side, and then on this side they're on, even with the bright lights not on. We're gonna drive around just a little bit with just the headlights on, just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect when you're driving around. And then I'm gonna give you my initial thoughts on which headlight wins this battle. So who wins headlight battle number 2? You know what? That's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide. Leave a comment below and tell me which one would you choose, or which one have you chosen out of all the headlights that I've done a video on. A few takeaways with my opinion. The running light of the Form Lighting headlight is much brighter than the AlphaRex. I mean, really, hands down. This one is much brighter for the running light. When I talk about running light, I'm talking about this here and the halo. That in itself is much brighter than the AlphaRex. One of the downfalls, you could say, is you don't get that 4 projector look with the Form Lighting unless your bright lights are on. Is that a win or a loss? I don't know. It's all about preference. The next thing you got to look at is the actual running light itself. The looks and appearance of these are different. This one's more of a hazed, solid look. This one is more of a pixelated look. Also, the opening sequences are a little different. This has got a chase sequence. This is kind of got it like a chase sequence, but then it gets a little bit brighter each time. They both have sequential turn signal, and they both have the option of running the amber DRLs, although the AlphaRex does have a couple more configurations than the Form Lighting, but this one can easily be changed on a day-to-day basis just by clicking and unclicking a harness. So which one wins? I'm really having a hard time. I think it really depends on what you're going for. If you're going for brightness, well, this one's probably gonna take the cake. And I'm gonna tell you that the price tag on this one is better than the AlphaRex. Does this mean I don't like the AlphaRex? No, I still like the AlphaRex. I'm very pleasantly surprised with the Form Lighting. The AlphaRex does look a little bit different with the whole kind of smoked out look, where this one's just kind of like the black casing. So I can't decide. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna run both of these for a little bit and, you know, drive around with 2 different headlights. I don't think anybody's really gonna notice except for myself. But the one thing to remember is both of these are available on the website at buckleupoffroad.com. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. Until next time, guys, buckle up, Buttercup.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
No, it's not a puppy. It's just a figure of speech for those people that are just, you know, think I'm stupid. I am a little weird.